Hello and welcome. I'm Carrie of Firefly Community, here to take you through a Vinyasa flow into a yin practice. So this will be a Vin-Yin combo class for the summer solstice. And we'll be honoring that Pitta energy of summer in Ayurvedic medicine, which is yoga's sister science, by moving through a flow to honor the energy and the heat of Pitta, and then cooling things down with moving into a yin practice to help settle that heat and create some balance. So you'll use 2 blocks for class today, and we will get started on our backs. Set up in either Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly, with the soles of your feet together and your knees out wide. Or if that doesn't feel good in your body, in your outer hips or your low back, you could take constructive rest instead with your feet wide, your knees to each other. So basically the opposite in the legs. And then in this first pose, rest your arms however they feel comfortable. They could be down by your sides with your palms up. They could be in a cactus shape to get a little more of a stretch across your shoulders and your chest. Or you could rest your hands on your body, maybe one hand on your heart and one hand on your navel. And start to take some deep, full breaths in through your nose and out of your mouth. Just let go of anything that's taking you out of this moment. Arrive here in your body, on your mat, knowing there's nowhere else you need to be for the next hour. And now that we are into summertime, we'll be honoring that Pitta energy within us, so that fiery, active, mobile energy of this time of the year. And then later, when we shift into our yin practice, we will help cool and balance that energy. But for now, we'll honor that fire within us that's at our solar plexus, that space just behind the belly button. And if you haven't already, you can start to inhale and exhale through your nose to help create some heat in your body for our Vinyasa part of practice. Take one more big breath where you are. And then if you're in butterfly, use your hands to help push your legs towards each other. And then we'll all bring our feet wide to the edges of the mat, knees still bent. Bring your arms either straight up from your shoulders or in a cactus shape. And now just let your knees fall side to side, windshield wiper your legs, so that you start to create some stretch in the front of your hip and front of your thigh. And also start to create a gentle twist in the spine. To honor and build that heat inside, we will work with a lot of twists today in our practice. And so this is to help prepare us for those deeper twists. The next time your knees are over to the left, you can leave them there for a moment. And if you want a little more stretch for your hip flexors and your quads, you might bring your left foot on top of your right thigh to create a bit deeper twist and deeper stretch. Only if your back feels okay with that. It is early in class, so if it's too deep of a twist, keep your foot on the floor instead. Good, then slide your foot back off, bring your knees back through center, and now over to the right. And if you did on the other side, you might bring your right foot on top of your left thigh to create a little more stretch here in your hip flexor and your quads. It does make this a little deeper twist as well. One more big breath. And release your foot, bring your knees back through center. Hug your knees into your chest, take a little rock side to side, massage your low back. And then hands behind your thighs, either rock the length of your spine a few times, or if that's too much on your back, you can roll to one side or the other and press yourself up. We'll all meet in a tabletop position on all fours. When you come into your tabletop, take a moment to check in that your shoulders are right over your wrists, and then push the mat away with your hands so you're lifting up and out of your shoulders. We're gonna start to fire up our core here right away today. So hug your low belly in, curl your toes under, and float your knees just an inch or two off of your mat. Now keep hugging your low belly in, keep pressing the mat away, puff up the space between your shoulders, your shoulder blades, and also broaden your collarbones. Probably feeling a lot of warmth starting to build in your body. Take one more big breath. And then lower your knees down. Uncurl your toes. On your inhale, take cow pose. Drop your belly, lift your gaze, let your shoulder blades move towards each other. Stretch through your abdominals. And then exhale, cat pose, round through your upper back. Tuck your chin, gaze back between your thighs. Press into the heels of your hands. Do that 2 more times with your breath. Inhale, come through cow pose, arch through your low back. And exhale, cat pose, round through your upper back. One more time, finding movement in your shoulder blades as well. So in cow pose, shoulder blades move towards each other. And in cat pose, they move away from each other. Good, then come back through your neutral tabletop. Walk your hands forward, a handprint. Spread your fingers out nice and wide. Curl your toes under, lift your hips, downward facing dog. And as you first come into downward dog, take a moment to bend one knee and then the other. Pedal out your feet, get some lengthening and stretch here for your calf muscles. Check in with the backs of your legs. If they feel really tight today, keep a bend in your knees. Good, now find stillness, and as you inhale, lift your heels up so you're more on the balls of your feet. And then exhale, come forward into a high plank position and check in that your shoulders are over your wrists. If they're not, you might need to move your hands a little forward or your feet a little bit back. Good, then exhale, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Now we'll continue to work on creating that strength in your core with 2 more of those with breath. So inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, come forward to a high plank. And then inhale, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, downward facing dog. Good, take a big breath in. And as you exhale, start to walk your feet towards your hands into ragdoll. So in this first forward fold, keep your feet nice and wide, let your head be heavy. You might sway your upper body a little side to side, say, shake out your head, yes and no. You could also grab opposite elbow if you'd like. Find a nice release here for your low back and for your neck. Then release your fingertips to the floor. You can either keep your feet hip width apart or bring your big toes to touch with some space between your heels. Bend your knees, engage your glutes, and slowly roll all the way up to standing. When you arrive at the top, roll your shoulders back, root down into your feet, engage your quads so it's like you're trying to lift your kneecaps, and then inhale, reach your arms up overhead for Tadasana. And as you reach, lengthen your side bodies. reach to the top of your head. Take a big breath in. And on your exhale, take an open arm twist to your left. So left arm comes back, right arm reaches forward, straight out from your shoulders, or if that bothers your shoulders, you can bend your elbows. But keep working that left hip towards the top of your mat, so your twist is at your belly button. Really firing up that inner fire. Inhale, come back through center, reach your arms up. Exhale, twist to your right. Open your arms or bend your elbows. Reach those right fingertips back, left fingertips forward. Keep your chin parallel to the floor. Good, then inhale, come back through center, reach both arms up. Exhale, cactus your arms, lift your heart. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Press your hips forward. Good, then inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Hands through your heart or out to the sides to swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. Good, exhale, plant your hands, step to a high plank. Pause here in your plank position. Press the mat away, press out through your heels, and then hinge forward about an inch. Use your knees if you need them. We'll lower all the way down to your mat so that your hips and your chest land at the same time. Bring your hands off to the sides of your mats onto your fingertips. Create little tents with your hands. Inhale, iguana pose. Lift your heart away from the mat. Good, then for a gentle twist here, on your exhale, drop your right shoulder down towards your mat, gaze underneath your left arm. Inhale, come back through center. And exhale to the other side. So left shoulder comes down towards the mat, gaze underneath your right arm. Inhale, center. Exhale, lower all the way down. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Curl your toes under, lift your knees, press through a high plank, or you can press to your knees. And lift your hips, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Bottom of your exhale, step or maybe a little hop of your feet to your hands if you feel ready for that. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Root into your feet. Inhale, Tadasana. Rise all the way up. Reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, open arm twist to your left. Good. Inhale, center. Exhale, open arm twist to your right. Inhale, center. Exhale, cactus your arms, lift your heart. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, fold forward. Find some fluidity here in your movement. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands high plank. Pause in your high plank. Hinge forward about an inch. Use your knees if you need them. We'll lower all the way to the mat again. So your hips and your chest land at the same time. Bring your hands off the sides of your mats. Inhale, iguana pose, lift your heart. Exhale, lower your right shoulder down, gaze underneath your left arm. Inhale, center. Exhale, left shoulder down, gaze underneath your right arm. Inhale, center. Exhale, lower all the way back down. Hands come back underneath your shoulders. You can either press to your knees or curl your toes under, lift your knees, press through a high plank. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. We have one more round through our Sun A. Big breath in. Bottom of your exhale, step or a little hop of your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift as a reset. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, open arm twist to your left. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, open arm twist to your right. Inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, cactus your arms, lift your heart. Big heart opener. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Pause in your high plank. Press the mat away, hug your low belly in, hinge forward an inch. Use your knees if you need them, otherwise lower all the way down to your mat. Hands off the sides of your mat. Inhale, iguana. Exhale, right shoulder down, gaze left. Inhale, center. Exhale, left shoulder down, gaze right. Inhale, center. Exhale, lower all the way down. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Curl your toes or press to your knees. You can press through a high plank if you are feeling that strength today. And then lift your hips, downward facing dog. Let's take a unifying breath. Exhale all of your air. Inhale through your nose. Bottom of your exhale, step or hop your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Here's our change. Inhale, chair pose. Bend your knees. Reach your hips back behind you, reaching for that imaginary chair. Reach your arms out in front of you, biceps by your ears. Lift your heart, hug the low belly in. Good, now bring your hands to your heart. Take a breath in. Exhale, prayer twist. Bring your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Press your palms together to bring your sternum a little closer to your thumbs. Now look down to make sure your left knee doesn't pop out in front of your right knee. Your knees are still aligned, your hips are still aligned. The twist is at your belly button. Exhale your breath. Inhale back to chair pose. Good, now exhale, drinking bird. Sweep your arms back behind you, palms face down, lift your heels. So now we're incorporating some balance. Gaze out in front of your mat about 3 feet or so. Reach through your fingertips to drive your shoulder blades more towards each other. Good, now inhale back to chair pose. Reach your arms forward as you drop your heels down. Now we'll use that same momentum, but bring more weight into your right foot. And this time as you exhale, crescent lunge with airplane torso. So your arms come back, your left leg comes back, your heart comes forward. And if in that transition, you didn't land quite where you wanted to, you can kind of shimmy that left foot back a little bit more so that you have your right knee over your ankle. Reach out through your fingertips, draw your pinkies towards each other. Squeeze your inner thighs. Now inhale, crescent lunge. As you rise up, keep pressing your left hip forward, pull your right hip crease back, lift your heart, but soften your low ribs. Take a breath in. Exhale, twisted crescent. So right arm comes back, left arm reaches forward. You might bend your elbows here if this is too much in your shoulders. Keep hugging your right hip in towards your midline. Inhale, exalted crescent. Reach your left arm up and back. Press that left hip more forward. Your right hand can either come to your low back or maybe fingertips find the back of that left thigh. Lift your left thigh away from the floor as you press your heel back. Take a big breath in. Exhale, warrior two. Windmill your arms all the way around as you open your hips and plant your back foot. You can always straighten and bend your front knee a few times and then settle into your strong warrior two. Press your right knee open. Stack your shoulders right over your hips. Good, now look forward. Keep your lunge. Inhale, reverse warrior. Reach up and back with your right arm without collapsing into your left side. Think about still lengthening both side bodies. Good, now exhale, high plank. Plant your hands. Step that right foot back. Hold in your high plank. We're incorporating our core work here into our flow. So can you hug your low belly in, press out through your heels, puff up that space between your shoulder blades, lengthen the back of your neck, gaze at the top of your mat. We're here for 3, 2, downward facing dog on 1. Good, let's unite our breath. Big exhale. Inhale through your nose. Exhale it out. Good, another big inhale. This time, bottom of your exhale, step or hop your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend your knees, reach your hips way back. Make sure you can see all 10 toes. Hug your low belly in. Lift your heart. Sit a little deeper into your chair. Good, now bring your hands to your heart. On your exhale, prayer twist. Bring your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. Make sure your knees stayed aligned. That means your hips are still aligned. Your twist is at your belly button. Reach through the top of your head. Press your hips back. Press your palms together. Good, exhale your breath. Inhale back to chair pose. Reach your arms back forward. Keep reaching your hips back. Good, exhale drinking bird. Arms come back, palms face down. Lift your heels to add some balance. Squeeze your ankles towards each other. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. So you're super engaged in your upper arms and your back. Good, drop your heels, inhale back to chair pose. Now more weight comes into your left foot. We'll use some momentum here of the arms. Exhale, crescent lunge, airplane torso. Step your right foot back, reach your arms back, draw your pinkies towards each other. Find that little lift of your heart. If you didn't land as far back as you wanted to, kind of shimmy that right foot back so that your left knee is directly over your ankle. Now squeeze your inner thighs. Inhale, crescent lunge. As you stack your shoulders over your hips, press that right hip forward, pull the left hip crease back. So your hips stay pretty level here. Press out through your right heel. Big breath in. Exhale, twisted crescent. Reach left arm back, right arm forward. Keep hugging that left hip in towards your midline. Reach to the top of your head. Good, inhale, exalted crescent. Reach your right arm up and back. Left fingertips might find the back of your right thigh, or maybe come to your low back. Big breath in. Exhale, warrior two. Windmill your arms around, open your hips, plant your right foot. Might turn those toes in a little bit. You could also straighten and bend your front knee a few times. And then commit to your lunge. Press into the outer edge of your right foot to help you lunge a little deeper into your left knee. Look forward. Exhale your breath. Inhale, reverse warrior. Keep that lunge as you reach up and back. Lift out of your waist. Your right hand might take a half bind, or maybe just rest on your back leg. Breath in. Exhale, high plank. Plant your hands. Step your left foot back. Hold in your plank position. Hug your low belly in. Press the mat away. Press out through your heels. For 3, 2, downward facing dog. Good, we'll take another cleansing breath here. Exhale all of your air. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, let it go. Good, big inhale. This time, bottom of your exhale, step or hop your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, prayer twist. Bring your left elbow outside your right thigh. Good. Inhale, back to chair. Exhale, drinking bird. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, crescent lunge, airplane torso. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, twisted crescent. Right arm back, left arm forward. Inhale, exalted crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Good. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, plant your hands, high plank. Pause here, press the mat away for 3, 2, downward facing dog on 1. Good, take a big breath in. Bottom of your exhale, step or hop feet to hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, prayer twist. Right elbow outside left thigh. Inhale, chair. Exhale, drinking bird. Inhale, chair. Exhale, crescent lunge, airplane torso. That right leg steps back. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, twisted crescent. Left arm back, right arm forward. Inhale, exalted crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Good. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, plant your hands, high plank, and hold. This is our last little bit of work before we get to cool things down. So you're probably feeling pretty heated. That fire inside is lit. You've got that Pitta energy working with you right now, helping you to hold here in your plank for 3, 2, downward facing dog. Take a big, full cleansing breath here. Exhale it out. Another big inhale. Good, this time on your exhale, lower to your knees. And now we get to create some balance. So as we shift to our yin part of class, we'll take child's pose as our transition pose. So bring your knees wide, your big toes together. Bring your torso forward, reach your arms forward as far as what works in your shoulders. You could also bring your hands a little wider, or even try flipping your palms up if that feels better on your shoulders. And as a transition pose, this pose is to help us come back to that parasympathetic nervous system, so our state of rest and digest. So to help make that happen, take long, full inhales and slow, long exhales. In particular, start to lengthen out your exhale breath. So we built all that heat, and now we'll cool things down a bit, but still honoring that fire that's within you, that energy that helps you stay active and get things done. One more big breath. Good, then press into your hands and come all the way up. Grab your blocks and bring them to the top of your mat. We are moving into dragon pose today, so if you don't have something to pad your knee, roll up the back of your mat until it's about halfway. If you do have something else to pad your knee, like a pillow or a blanket, that will come underneath your left knee, and then your right foot steps forward. And you do want to check in, make sure you're on the fleshy part of your left knee, not on your kneecap. So for some people, it works a little better to just have your cushioning underneath your shin. If you're having a hard time finding that good position of your back knee. And then your blocks can come to whatever height works in your body to give you some stretch for the front of your left hip, so left hip flexors. Today we'll move through a couple of options in our dragon pose. As I give you these options, you're always welcome to stay in just regular dragon pose where we are now, focusing on the hip flexor stretch. But we have been doing a lot of twisting, a lot of kind of working with that solar plexus part of the body, that space right behind the belly button. So if you want to add to this, to make it a twisted dragon, your left hand stays on your block, turn your torso towards your right knee, and bring your right hand either up onto your thigh or even back towards your right hip to bring this into that twisted variation. And this is a little more upright. You might find if you come into this, it also deepens that hip flexor stretch, maybe. But if it feels like too much, you can always come back to your regular dragon pose. Continue to slow down your breath. So we can cool down the energy and work with our connective tissues. So our vinyasa practice works more with our muscles, our strength, and our yin helps us work with those denser connective tissues like our fascia, ligaments, and tendons. If you took this twisted variation, you'll now come back to our regular dragon, facing forward for the last few breaths. One more big breath. Now we'll move from our dragon pose into sleeping swan. So you can bring your blocks with you to walk your hands back a little bit just to give you some space to bring your right foot to the left side of your mat. Then bring your shin all the way down to the mat. Your right knee is more over to the right side. You might have to move your cushion out of the way, out from under your left leg, and stretch your left leg straight back. Good, then from here, for sleeping swan, walk forward over your right leg and bring your head down to something. It could be your hands, your forearms, a block. Notice as you come into this, if you are feeling any pressure or discomfort in your knee, push yourself back up and transition into deer pose instead. Bend your left knee, that right shin comes parallel to the top of the mat, and then you walk forward either over your knee or over your shin. So deer pose is your alternative to help protect your knee. And same thing in that pose, you want to rest your head onto something so that you can relax your shoulders and your upper body as much as possible. So the focus stays on the outer hip in this pose. If you're in sleeping swan and you find there's a lot of space between your left hip and the floor, and you find yourself kind of leaning into that right side, you might bring a block or a pillow underneath your hip, just to keep you a little more centered and to give you some support. We're halfway through this pose. So if there's anything you need to shift or change, do so. Hoping you're feeling a stretch in that outer right hip. And no pain in your knee. Or no pain really anywhere, but no pressure in your knee. Where can you soften? Maybe if you're clenching your jaw, can you open and close your mouth a few times to help relax your jaw? And take 3 more slow, deep, full breaths. And then to come out of this pose, bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, lift up. If you had anything under your right hip, move it. And then sit onto your right hip and bring both of your legs out in front of you. And before we do those 2 poses on the other side, let's just do a little reset here. Lean back on your hands, bring your feet wide, let your knees fall side to side. You might notice one hip feels a little more open than the other. And then as you bring your knees back through center, your hands behind your hips, your fingertips can either point out to the sides or point towards the front of your mat. Lift your hips into a reverse tabletop. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other, lift your heart. You might let your throat open and your head drop back as long as you don't feel any pinching in your neck. Good, then lower your hips back down. And now we'll set up for our dragon pose on the left side. So your blocks come back to the top of your mat. Either fold up the back of your mat or bring some sort of cushion underneath your right knee. And then step your left foot forward into a lunge for dragon. Find the position of your upper body that works best for you to feel a stretch in your right hip flexors, so the front of your right hip. I find being up a little higher works better for me. Some people like to be a little bit lower. Check in with that right knee. You're not putting weight on your kneecap. And it's comfortable where it is. You can shift around as much as you need to help find your spot where you're feeling a good stretch. And you might feel this in your front leg too, maybe your inner leg, maybe even your outer hip, just depending on what's tight in your body today. And same as we did on the other side, you're welcome to stay in this traditional regular dragon pose the whole time today. Or if you want to add a twist to this, your right hand stays on your block, turn your torso towards your left leg, and bring your left hand either up onto your thigh or maybe even to your left hip to add that twist. So the twist is at your belly button again. But you can always stay in the regular variation if you prefer. The twist might give you a little deeper stretch if you keep working that right hip kind of forward to get that hip flexor stretch. And notice anywhere that you might be holding on to tension. Sometimes in this pose, it can be pretty intense, and so it causes us to maybe bring our shoulders up by our ears. Can you soften your shoulders? You might even relax your head. focus on your breath. If you opted to come into the twist today, you'll come back to center for regular dragon pose for the last few breaths. Hands back down onto the blocks. Okay, we'll transition from here into our sleeping swan pose. So you might even bring your blocks with you to walk your hands back a little bit just to release in that front leg. Bring your left foot to the right side of your mat. Bring your shin all the way down. Your knee is over towards the left side of your mat. Move that cushion out from underneath your right knee. Stretch your right leg straight back behind you. Point your toes straight back. And then for sleeping swan, walk yourself forward over your left leg and rest your head down onto something. Hoping you're feeling a stretch in your outer left hip here. You might also feel some stretch in your inner leg and your low back. If you are feeling any pressure or pain in your knee, sit onto the left hip, bring that left shin parallel to the top of your mat, bend your right knee so it comes behind your left heel, and then walk forward either over your knee or your shin into deer pose. And in either shape, whichever one works better in your body, if your head doesn't easily come down to something, you can use maybe a block underneath your forehead. If you're staying in sleeping swan and you find that you're leaning to the left side or you just have a lot of space there between your left hip and the floor, you could put a block or a pillow underneath your hip to give you a little more support. Only if you need it. Otherwise, just notice where you can soften and relax a little bit more. Allow your muscles to let go and soften so that your connective tissues get some benefit here. We are in the last minute of this shape. If you find that it's feeling more intense versus less intense, you might need to back out a little bit. Maybe you lift up a bit more. Take 3 more breaths. And so you come out, bring your hands under your shoulders, lift up. If you had something under your left hip, remove it. Sit onto your left hip, bring your right leg forward. And then same thing we did on the other side, bring your feet wide to the edges of your mat, lean back on your hands, let your knees fall side to side. Hopefully your outer hips now feel a little more even. Good, and then bring your feet out in front of you, about hip width apart with your knees bent. Plant your hands so that they're behind your hips. Your fingertips can point forward, or if you're tighter in the shoulders, let your fingers point out to the sides. And then press into your hands, lift your hips, draw your shoulder blades towards each other, come into that reverse tabletop position. Good, and then lower all the way back down. Make sure you have a block next to you and lay down onto your back. And when you come down onto your back, you can either take Shavasana with your arms and legs out straight, or if that bothers your low back, take constructive rest. Bring your feet wide and let your knees fall into each other. This is a reset. We'll be here for a few breaths. And then we'll set up for a nice deep twist to be our final shape before our Shavasana today. Now we have done a lot of twisting already, so hopefully you feel ready for this, but I'll give you a couple options if this first option is too much. So option number 1 is twisted root. You bring your feet towards each other with your knees bent. Bring your left leg up and over your right leg. We're going to move to the right first this time today. Lift up your hips, shift them to the left. Bring your arms straight out from your shoulders. Let your knees fall over to the right. So this is twisted root. If it feels like a little too much, but feels pretty good, you could bring a block underneath your knees, your thighs, to support your legs so you're not as deep in the twist. That left shoulder stays down on the mat as much as possible. You might cactus your arm to help draw that left shoulder blade down your back. Gaze up or to the left. If this feels like too much of a twist, you're feeling any pinching in your low back, you can uncross the legs, bend your knees, bring your knees together, your feet together, and let your legs fall over to the right. And in that case, if it still feels a little too deep, you can bring a block between your thighs or underneath your bottom leg. But if your back feels fine and you're doing okay with twisted root, you can stay there. If you have any pain in your left shoulder, you can just bring your arm more down by your sides, or you could even bring your hand or your fingertips onto that left side of your rib cage just to take any pain out of your shoulder if that's causing an issue today. For reference, you're halfway through this side. You can also try shifting your hips more left if that feels more comfortable in your low back. Twisted root is a pretty deep twist, so we are still honoring that inner fire in a more yin way. Than we were in our Vinyasa practice. We are in the last minute. Couple more deep, full breaths. And then slowly come back through center, uncross your legs. Bring your hips back to the center of your mat. Bring your feet wide, let your knees fall into each other. Stay there for a couple of breaths. Just a brief reset before we do the other side. Good, now feet back towards each other. This time, take your right leg up and over your left leg, like eagle legs. Lift up your hips, move them to the right, and then let your knees now fall to the left. And you can bring your arms either straight out from your shoulders. You could cactus your arms, draw that right shoulder blade down towards your mat. Or if you have any pain in your shoulder, you could just bring your arm down by your side or bring your right hand to that right side of your ribs. Now check in with your low back. If you're feeling pinching, you might try shifting your hips a little bit right or bringing a block underneath your legs just to give you some support and to back you out of the pose a little bit. If that's still not helping, uncross your legs and bring your knees together and let them fall to the left. And in that case, for props, you could use a block between your thighs or underneath your bottom leg. So whichever variation of this twist works in your body today. Gaze up at the ceiling, or if you want to include your cervical spine in the twist, you can bring your gaze the opposite direction of your knees. So in this case, over to the right. We're over halfway through this side. Finding this balance of our Pitta energy also helps us to focus our energy more, so that rather than burning out or being frantic or just busy, we can channel that energy into what we want to accomplish. Few more breaths. And slowly come back through center. Uncross your legs, bring your hips back to the center of your mat, bring your feet wide, and let your knees fall into each other. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. We'll be here for a few breaths. This next one won't be a full yin hold. It's just a brief kind of way to recenter ourselves after twisting side to side. You'll hug your knees into your chest, and then we'll take a brief happy baby pose. So grab your feet if you can reach them. Feet stamp like you're trying to stamp your feet on the ceiling. Bring your knees wide. If it's hard to hold your feet and keep your shoulders and your head on the mat, you could hold your shins or behind your thighs. Press your tailbone down into the mat. If your whole spine is down, you could rock a little side to side. Find a little sense of play. If it feels good in your body, you could straighten your legs. Let's get a little more stretch here for the inner legs and the hamstrings, the back of the legs. Good, then bend your knees, hug your knees into your chest, wrap your forearms around your shins, bring your forehead to your knees, bring yourself into a tight ball. And then release into Shavasana. Bring your legs out long in front of you, shift your hips down so that you lengthen your spine. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. And rest your arms by your sides. Find some stillness. Bring your awareness to your solar plexus. And imagine a spark there. And that with each breath, you're honoring that spark, allowing your fire to maybe get a nice golden hue with your inner flame. But it doesn't burn too hot. It stays that nice, steady flame. I'll be quiet for the next minute and a half to just give you time to relax here and enjoy some stillness. Slowly exhale your breath. As you inhale, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your ankles and your wrists. Take a big full body stretch. Reach your arms up overhead, your legs out long, let your back arch. And then bend your knees, roll to your right side, your sun side, to honor that light within you. When you feel ready, you can press into your left hand to make your way up through to seated. There's never any rush for coming out. If you feel like you need a little more time, then wherever you've landed, exhale all of your breath. Bring your right hand onto your belly button, your left hand over your right. As you inhale, breathe into your hands. Into your chest, all the way up to the top. Hold for a second at the top. And then exhale all of your breath. And to the light and fire in each one of you, namaste.